In my first ever 10K race, I narrowly beat someone dressed as a pancake. So I know how to beat pancakes and how to eat pancakes. And since that time, I've run quite a lot of 10Ks, and I'd say I've learned a lot about how to race them and how not to race them. So today, I'm running the Laguna Phuket Marathon Weekend 10K in brutal 37-degree heat. And I'm going to talk you through the approach I use to get the best result possible from a 10K. Okay, we're just walking to the start line of the Phuket Marathon 10K. The race is at 5 p.m. It's Saturday. Hi! Saturday afternoon, and it's baking hot, so it's going to be quite interesting to see how this one plays out, and you're coming along for the ride.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Not you, them.
Oh. By the time we got to the start line, my nerves had kind of gone and I was quite excited to race. It was a really good energy, good vibes, and I think I'd taken away any pressure and expectation of a specific time or result because it was so hot and the conditions were so difficult. So in my mind, I was just thinking, just run as strong as you can. I knew I was going to focus on my heart rate rather than my pace and just run to effort and feel and give it the best I could over the 10K. Oh, and then I remembered that I had a Bix gel, a 40-gram gel with caffeine, and my plan had been to take it about 20 minutes before the start, but I'd forgotten, and then it was like 5 to the race start, and Ben was like, what are you doing? It's too late. But I was like, no, I want this energy. So focusing on the start, I'm always aiming to just find myself in a good space. It's always a bit hectic and crowded at the start, but we were pretty far forward, and then we were off, and I had my GoPro primed. I had my arm not too far out because I'm mindful of other runners, but a guy barged past me and the GoPro went flying out of my hand and landed behind me. So I had to do a sudden stop, turn, run back, scoop up the GoPro, and obviously all the adrenaline's going and it was a bit panicky. Bit of a tricky start. The guy pushed past and knocked the GoPro out of my hand, so flew backwards. I went back to get it, but I'm up and running now. So after I'd got the GoPro and I caught back up, I saw my friend Polly and I clocked in the first kilometre around 4:04, and just as we were kind of going through kilometre 1, I locked into a pace with another female runner. The ground is quite slippy, nearly 2K, so watching my footing, trying to control the effort. And another really good thing that had happened is my friend Lawrence had talked me through the course and explained that like kilometre 2 and 3 you run past this construction site and the ground is a little bit uneven and there's often quite a lot of big puddles around there, and that is exactly what it was like, and it was quite slippy, but I felt quite empowered that I knew what to expect and nothing was really phasing me. 3K 12:49.
Hello.
Hi.
I can't believe you can do it on podcast.
Oh, good running.
YouTube?
Yeah.
What's the name?
It's Messy Happy.
Where are you from?
From England, but live in Bangkok.
Oh.
I guess at this point the feeling is like an 8 out of 10 in a 10K, so reserving effort, like you wouldn't want to be at a 9 or a 10 right now at this point in a 10K, and I was deliberately keeping a lid on it. Halfway in 21 minutes. Yeah, I was just trying to maintain and hold, but not hold back too much, still push myself and get the best out of myself that I could. So the middle section was probably the hardest for me, like particularly 6K, so just past halfway, I was still running strong with that other female and a male runner we'd been together for ages. We got taken over by another woman at around 5.5K. Do not expect this to be a negative split now. And that was just about really battling to stay positive as it was starting to hurt. And then we were approaching the U-turn, which was about 6K. And so I could see the lead runners coming back. I saw Ben, who looked really strong, and he was like, keep picking them off. And I was like, Sometimes when people call at you to push harder in a race, it makes you feel a little bit angry. And my initial response was, I'm working as hard as I can. But actually those words, as I processed them and they sunk in, did really motivate me to pick up. And you can see my pace chart, it dipped in the middle of the race and then rose back up, and it's almost like a mirror image. So I really managed to turn it around at 6K at the turn back point and really push on and have a really stronger later part of the race, which was really good.
7.5K. Pace has dropped, but trying to hold 420. Heart rate 180.
For the middle section, my heart rate had rose above 180. So we were getting towards my lactate threshold and really feeling like it's hard effort. So definitely 9 out of 10 at this point. So I was just really trying to stay mindful within the kilometer I was in and not think too far ahead. I knew this race and this heat would be about my mindset and how I dealt with each stage of the race. So I was just focusing on my technique, about running strong, running smooth. I was giving myself all of my cues, like pick up your feet, lift your hips, chest up, look forwards, keep driving with strong technique, and that was really working. So my heart rate was kind of, rising, but nothing, like no dramatic shoot upwards. It still felt like, despite being a really hard effort, 9, here I'm like at 9.5, I still felt like I was in control and that I could push forward more as I was coming to the later stages of the race. I was so desperate to see the finish, but it's actually a really nice end to the course, and they changed the route this year. I really recommend it. Actually, luckily it was a tiny bit short of 10K, so the finish line came into sight sooner than I thought, and as soon as I could see that, it was a case of letting rip and just really driving to the finish. Yeah, it felt good. It felt good. I felt like I really managed to maximize everything I had on the day and give it my all, so I was super proud of the effort.
Couldn't film the end. Filmed it, but couldn't speak, but managed to finish strong, which is always the aim. 10Ks are really hard. As long as you're prepared for that, ready to dig in.
Made it to the finish. 3rd overall female, 1st in age group, and I gave it everything I had. The things I think that went well for me in my approach to this race were gauging it off heart rate and effort. So really building in and trying to keep a sense of control. What you don't want is for it to be super hard and painful early on, because you've got to last the distance over the 10K. My pace did drop a little bit in the middle, but I think because I'd kept a control of my effort and kept an eye on my heart rate, I was able to push on and finish strong in the second half and have pretty even splits, first half and second half. So it's about keeping that control of your heart rate and your effort, and then the pace kind of took care of itself, and I was able to have a really strong finish. A moment for the trophy, because it's probably one of the nicest ones I've ever received. All wooden, and the medal just slots into that handy little hole there. So it's one medal that will be on display, which is really nice, and it all looks pretty lush with the palm trees and the sun. So happy with that. If you like this video, why don't you check out this one, which is when I ran a marathon, in fact Chicago Marathon, and got my marathon PB. Thanks for watching. Please like and consider subscribing, and we'll see you soon.